Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. It is Raznek and we are back on Cities Skylines 2 in our wonderful little village of San Carlos along the ocean. Right now I'm following this little, whatever this little smart car looking thing is, as we drive down our main highway through town. You can see it's not overly developed right now, right? Eventually this is going to be our city center, our main area of downtown. But right now it's not too busy. Oh, we're getting into some population. You can see over here on the left. I love riding around in the cars in this game. It's a lot of fun for me, just kind of sitting here, just seeing how the city looks from, you know, a street perspective is a kind of whoa, that almost was an accident. These people be crazy. These people are driving like crazy. All right. Yeah, let's get to it. Today we're going to be doing some expansion. We're going to do some specialized industry, and then also maybe some parks and recreation. Let's go. All right, here we are, our quaint little village along this ocean of San Carlos. Well, it's a large village now, but our quaint little village. I haven't done a whole lot since the last time. I've added some more roads for some future expansion. Added a few more industries and commercial centers keeping up with jobs. But that's about it. That's really all I've kind of done since the last video. Just kind of slowly growing my city. Just kind of slowly growing. Let's go ahead and hit play and see where we're at. Now, like I said in a little bit of intro, we're going to do some specialized industry. We're going to put in some farming and some stone mining. We're also going to work on expanding our city where it is necessary. And then eventually, once we get past this large village mark, we're going to probably start putting in some parks and maybe some other services. Right now, I don't think we are at the point where we need large transportation. Like we don't need buses or cabs or any of that stuff yet. But slowly we'll be getting to that. All right, let's just get to work. Oh my gosh, the demands are climbing. Demand is climbing. We're going to continue our little row house area right over here. And remember in the last video, if you kind of want all these to grow in the same, do the road one last right there. Got some row houses going in, all nice and neat. We're going to have kind of this as a little downtown burb, you know, just kind of all row houses through here. As we continue to press along. Here's residential. I put in some new residential areas because you always need residential. We're just gonna try to drop these in right here. Just kind of fill all this up with houses right now and let that stuff keep popping in. Next we got to put in a little bit of commercial just real quick. We're gonna stick to our main thoroughfare through here, our main commercial area, as we kind of grow up this part right here. I guess we can put in maybe a little bit right here on the side of the road. I don't want to get too big. Let's just put a little 2x2 there, leave a little gap, and then maybe a 3x3 here because we're gonna have to do some terrain editing between those. Then we drop another 2x2, another 2x2. We'll come in and fix those later with the trade tool as these kind of get dropped in here along the main road. There's commercial. Now let's put in a few more places to work. We've got this little joint right here. Let me see. I was going to zone that way and I didn't even realize there's no road access. I don't want to put it right here. So let's just kind of do like this. And in fact, I don't like that either. Let's fully delete that. And this might just have to be a smaller, kind of a smaller factory area, just because we have this weird terrain change right here. So we don't want it to look super weird. But here we can put in a nice big factory. Let's drop in a nice big one. It's even still going to be weird. It's factory areas. Who cares? There we go. Got plenty of work for our peoples. And as always, you can go up here and you can check. We got 82 empty positions. but many of those empty positions are for the well-educated. As you can see, are uneducated, there's no spots for them, and poorly educated, there's very few jobs. So we only have jobs for the highly educated. And what can you do? Well, let me show you a little trick here. If you want to get people enticed into your area, if you want to bring in more of a specific type, we'll go ahead and put this on pause. This is your tax rate, and once you reach a certain large enough, you can actually start adjusting your tax rate to entice certain individuals. We need more well-educated people, so actually we could actually lower our tax rate to 0% for those. If you wanted to, you could actually even pay those people to come. By negative 10%, you're actually supplementing or, you know, giving them government money to come. But we're just going to drop this to 0%. Along with the highly educated, we're going to put those to 0%. And then for educated, I don't think we're really in need of those too much. No, educated positions are being filled. So we're just going to keep this well-educated and highly educated at 0 to get the people from the outside community to be like, San Carlos is the place that I want to work. And then the same right here for business. If you want to entice certain businesses, you can actually, give them lower taxes if you wanted to bring in extra businesses. Same with industry. If you wanted to bring in some better industry, you could, you could reduce those taxes for those industries to entice more of those. And that later on in the production tab, which we'll get to in the next little section of this video, I can break that down a little bit better as far as I understand it. And then services, I usually don't ever mess with those. You can reduce your budgets some if you want to. Generally speaking, I really don't mess with those too much at the beginning because you get so much money as you level up. It's I don't worry too much about breaking even, but we are wanting to entice some well-educated and highly educated people, so we will put those at 0. All right, next up, we're going to do some specialized industry. We want a chicken farm somewhere, and eventually my farming's going to be, I mean, you can see right here this bright yellowish green, that is arable farmland, but this is going to be our downtown center, so unfortunately we're going to have to sacrifice those spots. But we do have some areas outside of town that have some good farmland. But the chicken farm doesn't require farmland. You can put chicken farms anywhere, don't really matter. Chicken farms, you can drop them wherever you want. You don't have to have anything special. You know, it's low noise pollution. That's literally all you get for a livestock farm. And so I'm thinking about actually just putting our first livestock farm just right here south of the highway. Just get a, we have this little section down here we're not using for anything. And I thought, what the heck? Let's just drop this in. Let's just go ahead and put a 4-lane divided road right there down Washington Street. And we're just going to drop in, again, this stuff will be moved later on, so I'm not too worried about it. So we're going to put in a chicken farm, and then across the street from the chicken farm, we're going to put in a rock quarry. And again, it's just down here. We're not going to be needing it. Eventually, a lot of this stuff will be up here or way out here. But at the moment, we'll just put it in right here. Let's do it. Let's drop those in. Now, what I've learned with the livestock farms is a lot of people may have they're like, oh, let me put a livestock farm and make it absolutely giantly huge. And you don't want to do that. You really only want your production. It's expensive to export. Again, if I understand the game correctly, which is a big what if, exporting products is actually expensive. The manufacturer would actually like to sell everything locally. It's better for the business if it's sold locally. So what you want is not a whole lot of surplus. You don't really want a lot of surplus. And until we unlock that productions tab, we really don't know how much surplus we have. So I think the best thing to do is to try to kind of keep things on the smaller side. You don't want these huge giant farms to get started. You just want to draw in kind of a nice little sized farm nothing too big. You know, we can scale this up as we need to, as necessary, because what I found is if you build this farm and you make this thing huge, it's going to hire tons and tons of people, and you're going to have all this surplus product that you got to truck out of town, and it's not very efficient for the business. And in fact, the businesses may actually start losing money. So you can see right here we have 5 employees. The other thing is if you start, oh, I forgot about that. We need power, and we got to connect our power. Wow, that's a long, oh, I got a little hiccup. That's a long ways away. I want this below ground. Below ground, all the way over here. There we go. That should give us power. And then we'll put this combined pipe, and we'll run this up here. Maybe. There's overlapping items. What am I overlapping? Oh, I gotta go. Really? Oh, it's because there's a tunnel there. We have to go down a little. We have to go down a lot. Down a lot. And now we got to go back up to connect here. There we go. Now we should have power and water. Let's see what happens. All right, perfect. What I was saying is if you make this really giant and it requires 100 employees, when you downsize that, say you have too much and you actually want to reduce the size of this farm, it still keeps the same amount of employees. And then I don't know, and then it breaks it. I've had problems when you make these too big. So don't make them too big to start with. You want to make these as small and as efficient as possible. And it's all going to make sense later on in the video when we get there. All right, that's it for that. Now let's go ahead and put in our another specialized industry, which is our rock quarry, which uses medium. It does ground pollution, air pollution, noise pollution. So we really probably don't want to put this by our farm because ground pollution will affect your farms in a negative way. So we're just going to kind of, yeah, like I said, we have all this area right here. I mean, eventually we're going to have ore this way. So we can actually kind of go ahead and plan for that, this ore mining process over here. What we could do is just kind of bring out, you know, maybe a dirt road. Doesn't even have to be a big fancy road. Maybe we'll just run like a dirt road. Kind of, you know, put a little curve to it. Again, nothing super complicated. We'll just kind of do like this. And we'll just kind of run this dirt road this way for now. Boom, just like that. That's all. And you know, this is all for future expansion. There's no, we might put other chicken farms here or more specialized industries when the time comes. Let's just go ahead and drop a rock quarry in right here. And again, the same is with our other items. We don't want to make this thing huge to begin with. We don't want it to be absolutely giant to start with because we don't know how much rock we really need at the moment. You know, we don't know how much it's going to produce, but right there, 104% efficiency, and we have our first rock quarry. All right, that's our specialized industries. That's what we got right now. I mean, eventually we'll have more. Eventually you'll unlock grain farming, vegetable farming, textile farming, forestry, coal mining, which looks like this is our closest spot for coal mining right here. This is ores or minerals. So we're actually, this little dirt road may eventually go there. Forestry can go anywhere there's trees, and we actually have some forestry. So this little area down here might actually kind of be our little specialized industry area for a while. We'll see what happens. All right, let's get this city built up, unlock the next segment, our next milestone, which is going to be the Grand Village, where we get more productions, some more stuff that we can talk about. All right, I'm gonna get playing, and I'll see you soon. All right, it didn't take too very long, and we've reached our next milestone. Grand Village, we got another $1 million, another 4 development points. We're up to 9. We really haven't spent many. Kind of holding on to those. Don't know where I want to go with them yet. We also unlocked 4 more expansion permits for more map tiles. Our loan limit is up. We can create districts now, which are right now is not really going to do a whole lot for us, but eventually it will help. Production panel, which we're going to talk about just real quick. Also, we can enact some policies. We've unlocked natural disasters. Transportation overview, which allows us to see where all of our public transportation is going. We have low rent housing now, which we're going to have that demand for low rent housing. We also unlocked low density offices, which is another type of business which is more suited for the educated people of your town. And I don't have many, so we're going to have to address that. Grain farming, forestry, transportation, parks and rec, and then taxing minimum fares, so we actually can put in taxis and so forth and so on. I think what we're going to start with now that we've unlocked this, we're going to take care of a few little zoning requirements. We have a new zoning demand for office. And offices are more of your, again, office buildings, right? So just imagine, I think software, I think there's a few other products that you produce with offices. Speaking of production, let's just show, we have unlocked this production tab now, which allows us to take care of more of the industrial production business side of our little town. And what it shows you is how much you're producing of a product, how much you have in surplus of that product, and then how much of a deficit locally you have a product. So anything that's produced will be shown here. If it's surplus, it means it's going to be exported out. But to export things is actually kind of expensive for the business. So it's better for all that to be used locally. You can see right here, our little stone mine that we have produces 50, we have a surplus still of 43.4 tons a month. We have a lot of extra rock, so we really don't need any. We are running a deficit though for our livestock, so we actually could put in another chicken farm. Now that's just for raw materials. You can actually go into material goods, which are what the industries themselves produce. So the yellow zoned industry areas, these produce things out of your raw materials. And you can see here, this gets very, very complicated. But again, later on in the game, the more balanced you have this, especially locally, the better your businesses are going to do, which means the more money you're going to make. So that's material goods. And then the immaterial goods, right here, you have software, you have telecom, financial, media, lodging, which we don't have any yet, meals, entertainment, and recreation. But right here, software, you can see these are all office services. It shows you right here, this is retail, but these are all office services. So when you put in offices, that's what it's going to produce, is these high-end office services. I think material goods are all industry. Yes, all industry. And if you look deeper into this, it'll show you who uses it. So like, we'll just take, for example, metals. Metals are produced from raw ore. So if we had ore, we would then be able to smelt the ore into metal, and then the metals are used for local industry. So there's a whole production line that you can get into. So this production tab is very, very helpful, especially in the beginning, to show you what you need to produce locally. We have a deficit of lumber. We have a deficit of grain. We have a deficit of vegetables. We do not have a deficit for stone, so we don't need to. But like it says here, this livestock farm, we could actually use another little chicken farm. It's not going to hurt. Now, we could expand this one and make it bigger, but it's running at 100% efficiency. So, let's not do that. Let's just add, add on to our pre-existing chicken farm. Well, they didn't like that. There was a little thumb down button. Apparently they don't like neighbors. They don't like chicken farm neighbors, but that's okay. And all this stuff's going to get moved eventually, so I'm not too worried about it. But now we have another chicken farm right here at the end of this road. So we'll just go ahead and hit play. And there we go. Apply for work at our new farm. That's 7 more jobs. This one's up to 106%. So hopefully this doesn't ruin the successfulness of this farm. That's something we have to watch. We don't want to overproduce, because when you overproduce, you ruin people's businesses. All right, now we have to drop in some offices, and offices are, I think, if I understand the game correctly, are what's called a destination kind of business, where people will travel there. And I thought about this little section right here would make a neat little office corridor. And so we're actually just going to zone in a lot of office. We don't need this much office space, but we should be good for a while. So this is kind of a little office complex that we're putting right here. And these will start filling in as we need them. You can see demands dropping quickly. The other thing that we unlocked is high density or low rent housing. You can see I've already started putting in some larger high density buildings right here. I'm going to go ahead and drop a very, very small high density housing building. We'll just put it right here. Just a little 2x2 just to kind of meet that demand and watch it. For some reason, a lot of these get abandoned for me, and I think it's just because my citizens have enough money, especially initially, that high density, low income housing isn't super important. Let's look at our jobs just real quick. We have 115 empty positions. You can see our educated and highly educated positions are just not being filled. They're not being filled at all, and that has me a little bit worried. So I'm going to put in a college. I'm just going to go ahead and drop in a college, because I need to get ahead of that while I can. And to unlock college, you're going to go into your development points. You're going to go into education. Then we're just going to go ahead and unlock this college right here with 1 point. And now we actually have space for a college. And I'm going to put it right here by the rest of the schools. We'll just put a little space between these. I don't know if this is going to stay here forever, but you know, we have our schools centrally located as we expand out away from these. It probably would be better to have them spaced, like have an elementary school here, high school here, college here. But for the sake of this little gameplay, we're just going to drop these in. We're going to just drop this in right here. We have plenty of room for the football stadium there. And then what we'll do is we'll just kind of put this in. Leave a space for a road to come down. There we go. And now we have a college, because eventually we can add on. Yep, we got plenty of room. We did that just perfect. And there's our little college area. We're losing money quickly, but it's okay. All right, next, you know, let's see, what are people complaining about? Lack of entertainment. You can see our people are complaining about a lack of entertainment. So we need to actually start dropping in some parks. First set of parks are very small parks. You have just a small park. You have a small plaza. You have a small playground, a dog park, and then a campfire site. Each one of these add attractiveness and outdoor recreation points for your citizens, and the campfire site being the largest early one, but we're really not going to put that in just yet. So what we want to do is kind of start dropping in some parks just to give the folks something to do. And I think what we're going to do, we're just going to put a small park in right here's just kind of wherever we can drop these in. Here we have a lot of people that are living in this area, so we could just kind of put a small park here. I actually like to locate them in the center of my blocks, generally speaking, and usually this is going to be kind of my block, and I like to put things in the center of the block. That's just kind of how my brain works. So we're actually going to come in. We're going to dezone this little section. No, I don't. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I actually don't want to do that here. So let's just try it. Make this the center. Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this area that we have space. Yeah, why ruin a good thing? All right, let's go ahead. And I'm going to drop in. What do I want to put? I think I'm just going to put in just a small park. Just a small park, and you can see it has an area of effect, and it'll nicely increase the happiness of everybody living right there. It affects these folks here too. And then over here, what we can do is, because we have these large block residential, right here in the middle, we are gonna dezone a section right here, and these people move out. And let's just go ahead and drop in. You know, I think I'm gonna drop in a plaza right here, although that just really doesn't fit. And just put in a plaza, probably. Yeah, we can just do go ahead and do a playground right here for now, and then we'll leave that space for other items, maybe a parking lot. And then we're going to do the same. So here's a block. Should have done it here. That's okay. Then let's kind of dezone this little section right here. We're going to get rid of all these houses. Sorry, people, you've lost your homes. And then we're going to, let's put in, we can put in a dog park right here. Put in a kind of a dog park right here on this corner. There we go. Now we have a dog park there and a little playground there. Let's see what else. We have a few little areas that, again, they're not fully covered. So we're going to keep dropping all these parks. I'm going to do that. I'm going to get as much park coverage as I can get. And remember, as we do this, I'm losing money. But let me get some park areas kind of dropped in here and make as many of these people as happy as we can. And I'll be right back. Oh no, we have an emergency! It's an emergency! Fire's broken out! Oh man, I was putting in my parks and then I noticed there's a fire. Come on, move it, fire engine. We'll only have like our little volunteer fire department's the only one. Oh man, you'd think he would just like go straight. He's making so many turns. What poor strategic planning. Who put all these square blocks in? No, yeah. So he's gonna go put out this fire. I wish this was a little, I mean, I like the animations of the fire truck. It's kind of fun. As they make their way here. But I wish there was like water and fire engines or firemen come out, but really it just sits here and then extinguishes the fire. Nothing too dramatic happens. It's fun to watch, but it doesn't get too wild. All right, he'll put it out eventually. And the fire's out. And look, the home's perfectly fine. It's like nothing ever happened. This person needs an ambulance. And if you ever want to see where your services are, so you can click on the building that is calling for something, and then you can click on what's been dispatched. So like if we go right here, now you can see here comes our ambulance services making its way to our little friends there. Same with the hearse. If we click on the hearse, like if we can zoom to it, there's our hearse traveling to our dead person. So sad, but these things happen. All right, so we got our parks put in, went ahead and got plenty of park coverage. If we pull up our little park map, we can see, you can either click there or you can go up here and hit this. You can see our people are fairly entertained. I've got quite a few parks dropped in around everywhere. I went ahead and put little bits out here, these little alleys at the end of these neighborhoods, and That way they have a little park area here. We might add some other stuff here later on, or this might go away at some point. Not quite sure what the plan is. You know, we have our little dog park here, there. I also put a dog park down here along the waterfront. And then I gave our people here a place to come sit and eat on their lunch breaks here in the industrial sector of town. You know, it's a ugly place, but at least they can come sit in the smog and drink something. I have not seen, oh my gosh, I have not seen that business yet. The first time I've ever seen this. This is Grinder Rock. That's cool looking. That is really cool looking. I like how I'm always surprised every time. I haven't seen this model yet. Very, very neat. Some very cool stuff. All right, yeah, that's it today. That's it. I've been chatting long enough. Our little city of San Carlos is expanding nicely. Next time, I think what we're going to do is we'll be talking about more of, maybe we'll get into some farming and some logging. Talk more about industry and maybe how to promote specified industries. Like if you want to specify in a certain type of industry, you can do that. And, you know, kind of keep expanding our city as we need. I don't think we need to get into public transportation yet, but we might do some taxis. I think that's what we'll do in the next one. We'll drop in some taxis and keep progressing our way to our next milestone, which is Tiny Town, which unlocks some new farms, coal mining, eventually post office, and we'll get into radio and internet and all those other basic services that any happy village wants. 1,803 people in the city of San Carlos. We gained 1,000 people this episode. That's some growth. All right. Until next time, stay safe. Thanks for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.